Blessed Sabbath day to you all. What a privilege and a pleasure it is to be with you all on this Lord's Day, giving God thanks that we can do something like this where we can encourage each other and share information, experiences, all things tracting, witnessing, and many, uh, biblically, God-focused activity. Let's open up in a word of prayer. And Carl, if you're there, can you please open us up in prayer?
Sure. One moment. Okay. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
All right. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, could it be you may bless today's program on Enduring to the End and the listeners, and I pray you may continue to bless the Bible Fellowship's outreach as far as our outreach with radio and anyone listening to shortwave overseas, and also this upcoming broadcast to Russia and also to the Philippines. That you may bless the radio waves, and actually, we know you're in control of all things, and you can move those waves around the world so that thine elect might hear, and also through social media and all the various ways that people can be reached. I pray you may bless the remainder of this Sunday and help us to focus upon spiritual things. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thanks, Carl.
Yep.
I do have a Bible verse that I'd like to share. This is Luke chapter 12. And we're going to read verses 35 to 38. And there we read, "Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants, whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself, and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And this know, that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not have suffered his house to be broken through. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not." And I really like that verse, because the hour we thought not was around the Great Tribulation time period. Mr. Camping put forth a lot of good studies around that time, where we heard about the end of the church age and after, September 7, 1994. And 1994 had a question mark, and God, he withheld some information from us. So it seemed like, an easy dunk on those who were following this information, and to turn away from it. And so it was the hour, folks thought not. And that continued on to May 21, 2011, where we had very solid information, to the point where we had a track called Infallible Proofs. And Carl and I were talking a little earlier about the billboards that had "The Bible guarantees it." And that's a very strong claim in Scripture. The Bible guarantees it. And God allowed us to have that kind of ministry where we had that information. And to this day now, we're seeing so much confirmation from the Scriptures. It really is an exciting time to be here with you all to discuss many different topics. Before I begin, does anyone have anything they'd like to share? How was your week? It's great to see you, Jeffrey. I hope you're feeling well. And anyone else, hopefully you're all doing well by God's grace. But does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Any experiences they've had throughout the week? I have at least three. I was at a gas station. I was pumping gas, and I saw a gentleman. He looked like a contractor. He was in a Chevy truck, and his front door was open. I was talking to Carl, And I was thinking, should I give them a tract? I don't know why I was thinking that. And I said, sure, go ahead, do it. If they say no, they just say no. So I got a lot more boldness. I jumped in the back, I got my tract, and I said, sir, can I share this information from you? I said it means the world to me, or something like that. And I kind of laughed at myself. I don't know why I said it, but he took the tract. I was pumping the gas, and the whole time I was pumping gas, he was in his truck reading the tract. I wanted to take a picture, but definitely didn't think that was advisable to do so. And yesterday, my son had a soccer game, and I snuck away to pick something up from Facebook Marketplace, a barbecue grill plate, and it was $10. And I stuck the tract under her mat, and it was this house with Halloween decorations. And I sent her a message via Facebook, and I said, you know, I'd really wanted to share this with you, and I hope you'll get a chance to read it. It's a bit controversial. And she texted back, thank you. I'm really strong in my Catholic faith. And I was thinking, with all that Halloween stuff you had on your house, but man, it was loaded. Ghosts and all that stuff, and the cobweb stuff that they put on the bushes. Oh, by the way, I know I have ADD here, but have you all noticed that there's less Halloween decorations this year? I was actually praying to the Lord. I said, Lord, you're ruling on the earth. How is it that Halloween is still going on? I said, I understand, Lord, you're in full control, and I need to worry about my own sins. But I did pray, and I asked the Lord if he could tamper it down. And boy, he sure did in my neighborhood. It was weak. It was the weakest Halloween I've ever seen. So I'm really thankful for that. And then thirdly, I was getting some coffee, and my son's old teachers from homeschooling. It was this pretty elaborate school. Two of the faculty or administrators were there, and I didn't have any tracks on me, but I did show her on YouTube, some of the programming. And then I went back to my car, and there were about 9 teenagers in front of a Starbucks. I jumped in the back of my car, and I approached them, and I tried to tell them as much as I could and give them tracks. So that was my week. I don't see any hands raised, so we're just going to jump right into the action, if that's all right with you all. Let's start with, I believe I have the prison ministry update. This is from Sir Jim. This is the prison book distribution activity by correctional systems. I believe every count here is a facility within that state in which we have a relationship with, in which we distribute prison books. So in California, they would have 38 facilities individually that are receiving books. This is magnificent, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are bound in prison, but spiritually they may be free. 38 is a fairly large number in California, and you can see the numbers in Washington, Oregon, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Texas. That's a fairly large amount, with 81 with bulk distribution. That seems like a lot. When I see that word bulk, my guess is that they're probably given one and they're disseminated through an administrator. That's my guess. Oklahoma's. Have we ever gone to Oklahoma tracting? Sometimes I forget that's even a state. What's the capital of Oklahoma? Chattanooga? No, that's Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't even think Chattanooga's. Does anyone know the? I don't know. I'll look it up. Montana, Colorado, Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming. That's just wonderful. New York is one. Wow, isn't that interesting? New York is one. New Jersey one. They must be a very secure units there. But thank God we have lots of former family radio listeners and a strong number of e-Bible listeners in the New York, New Jersey area. It could be God, just not allowing that to penetrate through there. Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, and South Carolina. Now, in foreign locations, England and Wales, that's magnificent. 123. It's a real blessing. Please keep the prison book ministry distribution in prayer. Sometimes we do forget about it, so we do thank Jim for sending this over. Scotland, Ireland, and many other nations. Look at Nigeria. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I was just watching a publication that Nigeria, they've had over 7,000 Christian deaths over the past year. And our current president has made a pretty bold statement demanding that this killing cease for Christians in Nigeria. Look at that fantastic amount. There are 883. And it's just a blessing in Africa as well. Look at these nations that we're not able to, physically be there at the moment. I think we thought of Tanzania at one point, if I remember correctly. We have Guyana and South Africa. That's a great amount. Cameroon, Namibia, Dominica, Bahamas, Singapore. That's great that we have one in Singapore. That's fantastic. Belize. We did a small track trip in Belize. It was really interesting. Puerto Rico, Zambia, Kenya. Great amount in Kenya. That's fantastic. Grenada. And my dear friend Michael, he had a looped study of Chris McCann on one of the mountainous radio stations. The DJ's name was Raul Gat. That was an excellent trip. Botswana, Malta, Malawi, Netherlands, and now we have Europe. And Sudan, I think they're having some horrible suffering there. I saw one news application stating that they could see blood from space from the ethnic cleansing that's going on over there. They could see the blood from space. Now, how sad is that? The suffering, mighty suffering during this time of judgment. And we see folks in Europe. We have Gambia, Jamaica. They just suffered a incredible storm. And you see all these nations here. El Salvador and Bolivia. Our friends may have made some recent contacts with that. What a blessing. Okay. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Any comments? Anything in the chat? Not all at once. All right. Yes, Miss iPhone, I think you were first. Let me see if I can find you. Is that you, Miss Michelle?
Yes. Hi,
Hey.
Barry. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a blessed Lord's Day. I went out tracting a little bit today. I just thought I'd share. It was, it was interesting. I went to first I went to a track and field event.
Is this the place, Michelle? If you can see my screen.
Yes, that is it. Yeah, that was my first stop.
Awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a nice it's a track, and a lot of people in the community use it like day and night because it's lit up at night. And but it seems like a good idea. I saw a lot of people walking around it, so I just stood waiting for people to come around and offered them the tracks, and a few took them. And I had the shirt on, of course, so that was helpful because I really hope people are able to at least see the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up, and I was with my son, and then we went to a big park with a lot of acreage. It has a lot of different activities there. So I haven't been there in a while, so I tried that out in Westchester. It's in Yorktown, and that was good too. It was a lot of like kind of rushing over to try to grab some groups of people, and I thought, well, some parts of the park were hard to track because you're trying to like, go on a wide spread of the property. But I was able to pass quite a bit out. A lot of many people said, "Oh, sure, why not?" And one man had said, "The way things are going, we can all use the help, all the help we can get, rather." That's so he decided to take the tract, and there was a teenager, a young guy, young man. He said, "Thank you, God bless." And another young lady, "Amazing, God bless." So, I mean, I don't know, what the Lord has in store, but it's always so great to be trying to, be in His obedience and doing these things, because He definitely seems to. I mean, not my experience. He's definitely teaching us as we obey, and then I also ended up at a public parking lot where there was a bunch of businesses, like a Lowe's and a couple other stores. So because there was a few in one area, I just kind of walked around the parking lot. And so this way, maybe I wouldn't get, told I shouldn't be doing it. But yeah, there. And I also meant to say, yeah, during that, this one gentleman said no, but then he like stopped me. He called me back and said, "You know what? I'll take one because your shirt inspired me." Because we have a great problem going on. Like I guess he was speaking of the world,
Right.
yeah. So he took that tract, and I was able to. Some people were really eager to grab one, and then one lady had said she was a Roman Catholic. She was a mature lady, and she just mentioned that that's what she was. But I tried to offer it to her again. I told her this wasn't church affiliated at all. It's just straight from the Bible. But she said no, thank you. And so, but yeah, people were definitely staring at the shirt from when I, could see, because I'm sure they weren't receiving this message yet in that area. Maybe
Right.
yeah, yeah. There's so many areas still to cover. I realize, like just even in my like vicinity, not far from where I live. And
Yeah. Was this lady here part of that trail that you were on?
this was at the big park after the track and field. This park wasn't far from there, and this is by it's called Cromp Pond.
Hmm.
CROM. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot there. It was just so beautiful out, and yeah, that was the only shot I could get. I apologize. I didn't do good with the camera today.
You
I
did a great job.
Yeah. Oh,
You
thank
know how
you.
hard it is, folks? Do you know how hard it is, folks, to take photos when you're tracting? It's Miss Evelyn can tell you it's not easy. And you've really got to be good because, they're watching you. You're being watched. So it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, some people I can see are really good at that, and I'll try, and then I'm almost going to drop my phone. I'm like, you know what? I got to concentrate on passing them out and getting them to the people. I can't do it. But
Great pictures. Yeah.
thanks.
Be encouraged because, you know, tracting is not for the faint-hearted, but at the same time, it's God's doing when we do these things, and our strength is made perfect in weakness. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that.
I did send you a short video, but I don't know if you were able to pull that
I
one.
have it.
Oh, okay. That
I was
was.
supposed to send myself a link of that. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see. If I
I
did a good
mean,
job, I sent myself a link. I didn't send myself the link.
no,
Let's see.
that's okay.
Dropbox. Hold on. It's an MP4. Yeah, I'll find it later on. Would you like to queue it up and let me know specifically what the video was about?
Oh yeah, it's just a brief video. Actually, my son took it. That was nice of him. He tried to get me some footage. So, but it was just three adults that showed interest. I was so pleased to be able to, serve the Lord doing that and handing these three people together. They took them, and yeah, that's.
Thank
Uh,
you for sharing that. I will see if I can get my hands on that video recording and post it. And Daniel, if you're watching, great directing there. We appreciate you taking pictures while you're your mom does tracking. It's really a blessing because folks like us, when we do this program and you're able to take those pictures, it definitely is an encouragement. And just like we mentioned in the past, everybody does, something. You can be even taking a photo of someone tracking to encourage others that they may do it as well. So thanks for your help, Daniel, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell him he's in bed. I'll tell him. Thank you.
Hopefully he's listening in the background and he's smiling when
Yes.
when he's hearing that. All right. Thanks, Miss Michelle. All right, Miss Evelyn, how are you?
Hi, Gary.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's nice to hear Michelle and her son tracking together. It's good teamwork.
Oh, yeah.
One taking pictures, one handing out tracks is really good. This just want to give a heads up that this Tuesday, Gary is setting up a team to go hand out tracks in Queens. Everyone's welcome. Anyone. I think the start time is at 9 a.m. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
Is this a specific event?
it's supposed to be for voting for, like, I guess local people are voting, nothing big, but maybe in Queens there'll be more um, voters. I don't know. So we're setting up somewhere in Queens, like by where Ozzy lives on 74th Street. It's very easy to get there from wherever you are. If you're in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or anywhere else, it's easy to get there because the train stops right there. It's a main train area.
And what time?
I think it's 9 a.m. Not sure till when, but
Right.
to contact Gary Latimer.
Right.
Another thing was that, it's very difficult to take pictures while you're tracking. And I kind of like even sometimes say, I don't want to do it. It's a struggle for me because some people stare at you and they look at you like, like, why are you taking pictures of me? Who are you? And sometimes I have to say, I'm sorry, just, taking pictures because of the tract, that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't do it, but it is not easy. I definitely don't think it's easy.
Yeah,
But
I thank you for sharing that because, we can get a little bit buffeted. But you can always
absolutely.
take a picture like this. This if you
That's
leave a
very
tract at
good.
a community location, this looks like a laundromat. Someone, I think this is Sir James. He left tracks at the reading section there, and this is a neutral zone.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of them everywhere. That's a good idea. But
Yeah,
that's it. Hopefully you can join us if you're not working. I'm not sure if you are.
yeah, I am, but I will be in New York tomorrow, Lord willing.
Oh,
I'll be free for a few hours, but I'll be in downtown Brooklyn. I'm visiting a loved one. So if anyone's in the downtown Brooklyn area and you can reach me, feel free. That would be great. And you have enough tracks, Miss Evelyn?
yes, I have lots and more coming for Ozzy. But I have a box. I have a special,
Aziz.
and Ozzy needs it. He has no more. He ran out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he gives him out a lot. He's like the satellite for Queens,
That's
everybody's.
right. He's the
Yeah,
drop-off point.
yes, yes. But yeah, he's getting a whole shipment, but we're gonna be using my box
Okay.
for now.
And as far as Thanksgiving is concerned, I'm not aware of anyone putting anything together. I know the Thanksgiving Day Parade is always a huge, huge event in New York, in all major cities, like Philadelphia. There's a huge Thanksgiving Day Parade. I know I've typically actively have done something, but for some reason, just doesn't seem to be a coalition doing anything. So maybe this is a good time. Please pray about it. Please think about it. Thanksgiving Day Parade. There's one in New York City, and there's one in Philadelphia. Something to think about.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Evelyn. May God bless you. And again, what a privilege it is to have this program. We can jump into a couple of topics here that I am thinking of. One of which is the excitement of just being at this time in history. Last episode, we talked about getting the tracks for folks who are blind. And I looked into it. there is a nonprofit organization along with libraries that may be able to assist. So I did email these government entities to see if they could either convert the tract into Braille, because apparently in the United States, if someone is blind, they can receive free software. It's like a nice tablet where they can read things via Braille. And so the tract can actually get converted so that way these devices can actually transmit into the Braille. And if that's not the case, they might even help with print, and they might even help with audio. But there's so much audio technology nowadays that we'll see what comes of it. I'll keep you all abreast with that. But I think that'd be really cool to have. Because you imagine someone's asking for a tract and they say, "Do you have this in Braille?" And you have to tell them no. But then we would just direct them to E-Bible Fellowship's web radio. And then maybe we could, with their permission, try to guide them, because there is lots of voice activated technology that folks who are visually impaired will use. So I just wouldn't give up hope. I think a lot of folks are highly adaptable with that kind of audio prompting, where they would be using AI to find stations and things like that to open up those protocols. All right. Last program, we also asked everyone to please consider hitting the like button from Chris McCann's short about Man is the Monster. It was that YouTube video. It had about 327 views. Since then, it has doubled. Let me see if I can click on that, if you can hear.
There are no Frankenstein monsters. There are no vampires. There are no ghosts. The true monster in this world is the sinner, man himself in his sins.
Hi, Chris. Good afternoon. I don't know if anybody has asked this question recently, because I haven't heard all of the open forums from this month yet, because where I live, it's a different time zone. But anyway, this is my question. Every year when Halloween rolls around, I have to explain to everyone I know why my son and we don't dress up, we don't participate in those activities. And actually on that day, we don't even leave the house. I don't let him go to school. I just want to avoid any spiritual activity that may be going on that day. And we treat it kind of like a Sunday. So for anyone listening, and for my son as well, because I'm going to play this for him once it's uploaded onto YouTube, could you talk about why True Elect would not and should not participate in Halloween?
I think we all remember this. But as you can see, because we engaged with this, there seems to be folks that organically commented, as you can see here. Someone says they celebrate All Saints Day, and they have their own interpretation of what they believe. And then you have someone, talking about demonic entities in this world affecting humanity. So essentially, your labor is not in vain. Those two people, they were able to see that because of the excellent communication. As you can see, folks are hitting the like button. So we have 20 messages total, and we have the like button. And I'm not sure what the view count is.
There are no
but it doesn't really matter. We're not just doing it for view count, but it's just a blessing that you all participated in this. And so you can see your labor is not in vain. So if you're on YouTube and you're on these platforms and you see videos like this and you're not sure what to write, sometimes I'm very short. I'll just put a couple emojis and I'll say great message or great response. And we can just start from there. Remember, in the future, please pray. We are thinking about assembling at least a framework for a virtual mission team. Even if we don't have that at the moment, we can pick out videos. You can share a video that you think we can all descend upon and put a note in. I'm really happy to share this one. I took a screenshot a few days ago. I know I'm going to be looked down upon, but I was going down the rabbit hole and I saw a notification. A big time YouTuber by the name of Candace Owens did a live stream. And once I get that notification, I go into message mode. There were 122,000 people. There were 122,000 people in that live stream. I just couldn't pass it up. So I did something called a super chat. A super chat is where you spend a couple dollars and it's $5 for, I think, 150 words. And I did a plug for E-Bible Fellowship. And I'm going to see if I can find this particular image that I shared. Forgive me. I should have had this ready. But I have so much to share. I totally forgot that I did this. It's a screenshot that I took. And let me see here, recent file images. All right. Let's see if it's an image or if it's just a document. Yeah, something's wrong with my phone. I should be able to pull this up very quickly. I'll find this at a later moment. But essentially, I put a message in and it got 17 likes. And someone gave a positive statement. So it was very encouraging. I hope to find that that particular image. But let's continue and proceed with some more things to discuss. All right. So we did the check marks with YouTube videos with Chris. Perhaps we can find one today. Let's see if we can do this on the regular. Let's see if we can find a short. So if any of you have the time right now, were you blessed or encouraged by any E-Bible Fellowship videos? Were there any videos that particularly caught your attention this week? If you don't mind, please put that in the chat or raise your hand. Let's locate it. Let's share it with our folks here. And it'd be really nice if we could put comments in and get some of that activity. Cold weather's upon us. I'm very blessed to have an E-Bible Fellowship hoodie. Some of us dear friends do not have one. And, you know, I don't want to boast or make you feel uncomfortable that I have one. It just so happens, you know, that I do have one. If you'd like to get your own E-Bible Fellowship hoodie, and right now, E-Bible Fellowship is not giving any hoodies, you can email info@ebiblefellowship.org for the artwork. You can ask for the artwork and a QR code, where you can put a QR code on your shoulder. You can really get this artwork. You can go to your local graphic design company, and you, with your own funds, through your own ministry, you can get your own hoodie. It would be more cost effective to do it that way. And you'd be able to get a nice hoodie because the weather's getting colder and having this representation is pivotal. Jeffrey, I don't know why you're pinned. I'm sorry to do this. It's great to see you. You seem to be pinned here. I don't know if Carl sabotaged you, but I hope you're doing well by God's grace. I hope you had a good week. I hope you're doing all right. You are greatly loved, and we hope that you're doing well by the grace of God. I'm not sure if you have any updates or anything if you'd like to share, but okay, no. All right. Let's go back here and continue down the pipeline. So cold weather's coming. Don't forget, this is a good time to get this your hoodie going. This is particularly interesting. Typically, I would show a video and there would be a critique. This time, I would like to send a more positive note here. Here is a video of a street preacher going with an atheist.
Over 500 years has science continually ruled out God but never ruled him in.
I don't know what you're talking about. That is just such an untrue statement. foundation for science comes from godly men, Isaac Newton and others who believed in God's existence. Einstein was not an atheist. God's proven scientifically in just looking around you. Look, if I said to you as we sit in this huge building, I see no evidence of a builder, you'd think I was crazy. Now let me answer the question. We don't want to get through these too quick.
You're not going to answer that.
Yeah, I'm answering it.
Number three.
Let me finish it, Bruce. Bruce, I'm going to give you.
It's going to go into an hour.
I'm going to give you evidence for God's existence. Okay. It's utterly without the realm of possibility for DNA to make itself. It's coherent information. And so you just have to look at DNA to know that God exists. That's the intelligent design.
Let's go to number three.
We get out of this one real quick. Too hot in the kitchen.
Why do God, over 500 years, has science continually...
And I just wanted to share that video because, typically we would find, someone saying something incorrect and we would give a critique. Well, in this case, I think he did an excellent job. And there's just so many reasons to pick apart, the atheist perspective that folks in the church, they have plenty of ammunition, and folks in the world. So that's really a blessing. Yes, sir, Carl.
Hey, Gary. So I have can you hear me all right? I just want to make sure my mic's working.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I have a video. Actually, Chris found this video. It was somebody we don't know received a track. So this is kind of like I'd say the opposite of our perspective. This is a person actually receiving a track, and they happened to film a video on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. I put a comment in there too. Please go ahead.
Yeah, but I'll go ahead and share it if just in case nobody else saw it.
Oh, what's this? Nay, ano po to? End of the world? Kailan po to?
Sa 2033, 9 years po.
Pwede isa lang po. 2020?
33.
2033?
9 years.
9 years from now. Ano po yung parang ano?
Yung wala.
Dahilan?
Kasi sa Bible, sa Matthew 24, ang daming mga nangyayari ngayon na hindi nangyari noon na mga baha, mga sunog, all over the world nangyayari na kasi nag-judges na si Lord ganun. Kaya yun ang dahilan. Maraming mga dalubhasa na walang ginawa kundi magbasa. At the same time, may work sila. Yun ang inaatupag nila. Sila ang nagsulat dito sa America. Dito sa YouTube.
Sa America po to?
FB, oo.
Oh, sa America daw. The world. That's crazy. Dapat dati pa 2012. 2012, akala ko na rin may parang geostorm. It's tripping.
So yeah, the video is interesting because
Can you go to the comments here, Carl, while you do commentary?
Because we don't know this person who's handing out tracks. At least I'm not aware of who she is.
Isn't that Annie?
I don't think it is.
They called her an old lady. I was like, oh, that's not nice.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same person, but somebody here in the Philippines happens to be handing out tracks, and this is a person who's receiving the track, who posted it on his own channel.
Isn't
and somebody wrote a comment, 2,000 years from the resurrection of Christ.
That's from the United Kingdom.
Yep.
Whoever wrote that, it's from the United Kingdom.
Yep. I see Evelyn made a comment there. That's good.
Thank you, Evelyn. This is super, super important.
Yeah.
Now look, go to the replies. Looks like he's actively applying from 6 days ago.
It looks like you commented.
Yeah. I tried to invite him on the show, but I was like, this guy could be so inflammatory. I would get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, when
if you notice, he didn't respond to that. Yep.
So so there's that. We also have.
But look, she's doing exactly what God has commanded her to do. Good job. Yeah. Look at that.
It's a good comment. Yep.
So as you can see, folks, I was talking to a dear friend of mine. We were saying that people are finding us on YouTube. And if you ever notice someone says, oh, yeah, I found you guys. You gave me one of the tracks. I mean, doesn't happen much, but you see people are coming on via YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So for you folks who say, you guys talk about tracks all the time, tracks. Well, looks like YouTube is bringing a lot of fruit. It's bearing a lot of fruit. And it's just the way God, it seems to be engaging with the world. Tracks are wonderful, but it's a bit antiquated, you know. You don't really see people standing on street corners. Most people, they have apps for dating. They have apps for everything. People don't even talk to people. You ever go to a restaurant? You have two people at the restaurant and their phones are like this. They're in a restaurant. And then someone will say, oh, you know, we have to get back to the basics. Maybe this is the way God intended. Maybe technology and the human experience is more linked than we think. Instead of like demonizing that kind of behavior, maybe we are more interconnected in some kind of matrix,
Yep.
so to speak.
Yeah, technology can be used for good and also for evil.
Yeah.
So this is a podcast we found that where this Joe Rogan actually mentions the May 21 campaign.
Do they
And
curse? I don't think they curse, right?
No, I don't think in this video.
Okay.
The other one. There's a brief mention of him in this video, but this one goes a little more into depth.
Gotcha.
So I'll play this clip.
And then it's 2012. I mean, that's not that long ago. That's back when we thought
that's when I just started going back to college. Yeah,
we thought that the Mayan calendar was going to be the end of the world. Were you one of those people?
I wasn't. I had a rapture party on that day.
Did you?
Yeah, we did.
We did a rapture show. We did an end of the world show. It was me, Doug Stanhope, Joey Diaz, and Honey Honey, the band. We did a show at the Wiltern in Los Angeles.
Did you have a plan for the countdown?
Well, we were hoping the world would just blow up or something, and then we wouldn't have to have a countdown.
Well, it turns out it was just what they call it, like the
long count.
It was like everyone thought it was going to be the judgment, but then when nothing happened, it was like, well, he passed judgment then, but then that's when we were judged. Well,
I thought it was supposed to be just the end of the count.
I'm thinking of the Herald. I'm thinking of the Herald Camping. There was another one in 2012 with that old preacher Harold Camping.
Oh, that's the guy.
There was going to be the rapture.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was before 2012, because that guy had billboards out. Because I remember he took out these billboards in L.A. and I was standing there once at this Thai food restaurant that I go to, staring at this fucking billboard, going, "What is this guy gonna do the day after this date, and the world's still around?"
I remember they had businesses that people were paying to like take care of your pets.
There it is, May 21st. It was 2011. Yeah, a little bit before May 21st. That's it. Judgment Day. Cry mightily unto God.
They had those geniuses that made money just taking care of people's pets if they were to get raptured.
Look at the gold star. The Bible guarantees it.
That's convincing. It's official.
But I mean, the way it's just so corny. It's so corny with that sticker. The Bible guarantees it. Oh, what do you want to put in the upper left-hand corner? We have an empty space. How about a nice little sign that says the Bible guarantees it? Yeah, it's going to be a few people that are on the fence. But once they...
Anyways, I just thought it was interesting how they did mention...
Hey, I'm offended. I like that Bible guarantees it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was told... Mr. Camping is the one who had that put up.
Listen, that was a big name, and you know what's interesting? They had a good laugh, the cigar, and everything was kind of looking back, and that was part of the revelry and the mockery. But
that was actually in 2021, that video clip.
But
so that was a little bit after COVID.
Yeah. So
there has been a little bit of a shift. I don't know, towards that.
I just saw a video with Joe Rogan talking about Jesus Christ and his story, that there's nothing like it. There's no other story that is so compelling as the story of Jesus Christ. So you can see the flip of the script, so to speak. Trouble is in paradise. But I do see a couple of folks with some comments here. The lady handing out tracts in the Philippines. I see a YouTube video that I'm going to...
I think that was the same video of the...
You sure?
One in the Philippines. Oh, no.
Let me see.
The gift.
Okay. This is a video that someone says they wouldn't mind us putting some comments in. So I'm going to share it now. Let's take a look. This is called The Gift of Suffering for Christ. Look at the amount of thumb likes, 83. That's wonderful. So folks, if you can, please add a comment. I'm going to do Mike. Would This may not be a good comment, but it's a start. And I'm going to like my own comment. And wow, I needed this. I'm about to be homeless. Yeah. These are people really struggling here. Here we go. People are really commenting. Thank you. And, you know, I'm going to put a thank you here. This is really wonderful, because when we do this, you know, what YouTube is doing is like, oh, we're getting activity here. I don't know what the views are for this video. It's none of my business. But this is how we're going to increase awareness. So thank you, Carl. My ADD kicked in. But if you could please finish your comment about this Joe Rogan experience here.
I will. Yeah, I want to play the second clip, but I'm just trying to narrow down
the
portion.
But and just check for foul language. I did hear him slip.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to check for.
Not that we would be violating YouTube's principles, because this is not a program for children directly, but we do know that children are watching.
So this is another clip. This is actually a more recent one. It's a short clip, and basically, they'll have the whole idea of climate change, and this person's upset that they predicted the end of the world many times, and it's just failed, right?
Right.
According to climate scientists. And so here, this guy was just upset, and he's basically saying that they've had more failed predictions than Bible prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have a worse record than Bible people. The climate prophecy is less reliable than the crazy religious people.
Well, not even Bible people, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Everybody, like a lot of people herald camping and predict the end of the world. That's embarrassing.
So there you go. He mentions herald camping. Yep. In the May 21.
I feel like, remember Will said, take that man's name out of your mouth.
By the way, that was 9 months ago, so that was just a little earlier this year that that episode occurred. So it's still on people's minds, and they remember.
Yeah, how could they not? That was the largest marketing campaign, and it was such an exciting time, folks. If you fondly remember the joy that we had as we led up to May 21, the fear as well, because we knew that if we were not elected, we would be annihilated, and we shared a mutual, joy that we could just be a part of it humbly, that we could just share the experience. And so, looking back now, tell me, it's not the same. The mockery is not the same. He said the date setters are better than the climate people. So you see that transition from mockery. They're distracted. They're distracted. The hand of God is upon them, and the day of judgment has come. And just as we read earlier in Luke chapter 12, and he's going to come in an hour you think not. So now that he's come, unfortunately, they're just dealing with the repercussions of the day of judgment. They're in it. They're in the day of judgment, and they're in a state of hell. And the gold has become dim, and the city is burning. The great city Babylon, and all of its glory, is being taken to naught. And we thank and praise God that we can discuss these things together humbly. Here's another video.
Yeah, this one's from Jill. Posted this one. She says she likes this one. So
all right, let's get in there.
One major topic that is recognized
put a message
worldwide is how the world is so divided right now. Have you wondered why this is happening? God, in His Word, the Bible, declares that at the end, during Judgment Day, Satan's kingdom, the world, would be divided. We are now seeing this before our eyes. God is causing the inhabitants of the world to fight against each other as part of the judgment on this world.
Wow. Now that's not an e-Bible. That's not an e-Bible Fellowship video, is it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whose that is.
It says May 21 is Judgment Day. Go to the left. Oh no, to the publication that's there. Yeah, you see where it says at May 21. That's their channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Gold River.
Yeah.
That was very cinematic. It seemed like that was really cool. It's very cinematic.
Yeah, if no one's seen this one, I can show this one. This one's a 2-part clip. This is one that was just recently put up because this was a response to a comment that somebody had made on our video.
Okay.
So this is a video response to that. A person writes the following.
Jesus says no man knows. This is wrong to try and predict when.
E-Bible Fellowship's response. The Bible doesn't teach it's wrong to predict dates. It doesn't say no man can know. It simply states that knoweth no man, which is a true statement of ourselves we do not know, unless God reveals it to us through His Word. Now I know many people, including the majority of Christians, love this present world and don't want it to end, which is perhaps the reason they don't want to dig any further regarding this topic and are satisfied with the understanding that no one can know. However, the Bible shows in other scriptures that the elect will know time and judgment. Ecclesiastes 8:5, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Or that God will do nothing unless He first lets His elect know about it. Amos 3:7, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants the prophets. He does not hide from Abraham the coming judgment upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 18:17. And Jehovah said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do? Christ does not come as a thief in the night upon the elect, because we know the thief is coming ahead of time, giving us time to prepare for it. 1 Thessalonians 5:4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Prepare for what? 1 Corinthians 14:8. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? The battle of Judgment Day. This means knowing the exact time when Judgment Day occurred, May 21, 2011. This allowed us to prepare for the battle of Judgment Day, which is taking place now. Satan's kingdom has turned on each other, and everyone is helping to destroy another. Now back to knoweth no man. With all the verses shared, we know there must be something more to the no man knows verse than what appears on the surface. Sure enough, we find that knowing in the Bible does not always mean knowledge, such as a date, but oftentimes it could mean experience. Like in the following verse, Psalm 9:16, Jehovah is known by the judgment which He executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. The people of the world, those in Satan's kingdom, come to know or experience God through His judgment upon them. It's only then that they begin to know or experience the day and hour by going through it. Just like Pharaoh and the Egyptians came to know the day and hour, the judgment upon Egypt, by experiencing the plagues. Exodus 7:4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth mine armies, and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt, by great judgments. A person in the second part. Exodus 7:5.
Hey, Carl.
And the Egyptians shall.
Just want to let you folks know, if you'd like to access this particular hyperlink to put in comments, you can do that while you're watching. If you're tech savvy enough, because you don't want to, get bumped out. But Thank you. Thank you, Carl.
Know that I am Jehovah, when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. We also read that Adam knew his wife Eve. This means that Adam came to know her through the experience of lying with her. It's not referring to intellectual knowledge, but experimental knowledge. Genesis 4:1, and Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Jehovah. This common refrain is also found in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 6:14, so will I stretch out mine hand upon them, and make the land desolate, yea, more desolate than the wilderness toward Diploth, and all their habitations, and they shall know that I am Jehovah. Ezekiel 20:20, and the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate, and ye shall know that I am Jehovah. Ezekiel 15:7, and I will set my face against them. They shall go out from one fire, and another fire shall devour them. And ye shall know that I am Jehovah, when I set my face against them. The elect, on the other hand, come to know or experience God through his mercy. Hebrews 8:11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Or what we read here, Ezekiel 37:13-14, and ye shall know that I am Jehovah, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know that I, Jehovah, have spoken it, and performed it, saith Jehovah. So in conclusion, man does not know the day and hour until they go through Judgment Day. As of May 21, 2011, man now knows the day and hour by experiencing God's judgments that are upon this world.
That was really well done, but that was a long video.
Exodus, yep. It's a big topic.
My ADD was like, man, this is taking a long time. But this is another thing I just wanted to also highlight. I have ADD, and I'm very impatient. But just being in this around you all and listening to excellent Bible study and teaching, that's something that I have to work on, because God, he moves in very specific ways and very deliberate and careful. And if I move, hodgepodge and quickly, you're not going to get quality. So very good video, Sir Carl. I did find that image that I was telling you all about. If you don't mind, let me see if I can find it. Oops. There we go. No, that's not it. There it is. This is me on the Candace Owens show. Look at this. This is what they call a super chat. Here's another one. Look how many people are in the live stream. There's 22 here, and there's 122,000 there. I don't know what the ratio is, but we're like a toothpick, and they're like a tree. But look at this. This is a message that I did while 122,000 people were watching. Now, if you ask me, from a cost-benefit analysis, I think this $10 was very well spent. Would you agree? It depends, right? This is one picture I'm going to show you. 17 people checked the mark, and someone wrote, truth be told, I don't know who John M.K. Doe is. But maybe that person didn't read the whole statement. Maybe they didn't see May 21, 2011, but I put it here first, So if you folks like cooking shows on YouTube or whatever the case is, maybe it's not a cooking show, maybe it's a show like this, but 122,000 people were in the chat. We didn't have to drive to a city. Everybody from all over a certain network came here. So this is the inverse of us going outward. Everybody's coming to a centralized location, and then we get them with the message. So if you wanted to do this on a larger scale, you have folks like this. I could get 3, 4, or 5 of our dear friends. We can set up a budget and we could do back to back to back to back messaging. Now, we don't want to do something called spamming, but individually curated messages. And that can have an impact. 17 people hit the check mark. That's nothing to yawn at, because when you do a super chat with 100,000 people in the chat goes extremely quickly. So if you put a carefully curated message and you have people checking the like button, it's getting exposure. Looks like someone also posted a video here. Let me just share. And then I'll share my screen. Let's help this brother Will out. Let's descend. If you go in the chat, let's play this here.
There is a program you can go to on the internet called New Open Forum, and it'll help you ask questions and list the other people's questions and answers about the Bible and find out why is the world so divided. There is a program you can go to on the internet called New Open Forum, and it'll help you ask questions and list the other people's questions and answers about the Bible and find out why is the world so divided. There is a program you can go to on the internet called New Open Forum, and it'll help you ask questions and list the other people's questions and answers about the Bible and find out why is the world so divided.
All right. So I subscribed. I hit the like button. I put in messages. If we flock to this, do you know what's going to happen? 7 likes, 1237 views, October 16, 2025. That's really good views. That's almost as much as eBible gets. So just imagine if we get more comments. You know what YouTube is going to do? YouTube is going to reward the person who owns this channel by sending this out to other people to see if they're also going to get that response. Now, they may not do it, but at least we gave it a bit of a boost. And thank you all for sharing videos. You're very welcome, Will. We've been doing this program for quite some time, and this is like the incubator where we think of ways to faithfully witness and share things that are important to us. And instead of attracting, we are attracting people in various ways. And this is just another blessing. Carl, did you have anything else you wanted to share with the Joe Rogan experience and those comments, sir?
Sorry, say that again. I stepped away for a moment.
Yeah, thank you. Was there anything else that you wanted to share?
Oh, no, that was just it. Just those two. Those are the only two I found.
Okay. Yeah. I also want to mention that we've been hearing a lot just recently about obviously all the political drama that's going on. Something about data centers. Data centers are popping up everywhere, and it's really causing a lot of people to be troubled. And obviously, they use a lot of electricity, but they're providing a service. And I think, Carl, you've been able to use a lot of AI to help with some of the things that you've been doing. But one thing I'm recognizing is it's a repository for information. If you're studying the timeline, you can ask questions, put it in, and ask it to verify based on secular records, double check. And you can even test it by putting in wrong information to see if it will correct you. So, Carl, do you think we can briefly just try this?
Sure.
All right, let's see. Let's go in incognito mode so it doesn't know it's you. Let's go into AI and let's put it in slightly off information for something that the AI should be doing, because we should be doing this. Because some of these AI models, they're very subservient in certain ways. They'll thank you for your information, and they'll be very, service oriented. But it would be nice to just make sure what happens when we put wrong information in, and does it offer a correction? But yes, back to the data center information. What I do believe is that I do believe God is going to use these repositories to bring up a lot of truth that has been hidden in the past. So, for example, next program, Lord willing, I was able to find some information which was pretty interesting that normally the mainstream scientific community would not want to have out there. So, Lord willing, next week we will discuss that. Carl, if you're at the ready, sir.
One moment.
Yes. Take your time.
All right. So you wanted me to. What was it that you wanted me to do?
Well, let's just put in some general information, things that we already know. Let's say the coming out of Egypt. And then let's just put 1 year off. Okay, let's do it off by 1 year. And let's link that to Solomon's.
Okay,
I
so
think
you
Solomon's
wanna
death
see-
is 931 BC.
Yeah.
So let's do 1446 to 931 BC and see. But I think we have to go in incognito mode because if they know it's you,
So you want to see if it could. You want to kind of.
I want to know if it's going to correct us or if it will just be very honest and say that's not actually correct. It's off by a year. So let's
Well,
put in
they
a formula.
already say 1446 is the date of the Exodus, because they
Okay.
take.
Well, let's just put 1441 then, or something like that. The reason why I'm doing this is
Do you
obviously
want me
we
to
don't-
ask? Was the Exodus in 1441 BC?
I would give it the formula. I would say my calculations show the Exodus at 1441 BC to
Well,
931.
my ChatGPT already has the information saved. Like,
That's why I said incognito, so that way they don't know it's you.
yeah, but it can play white. White doesn't work.
Okay. Let's just go for it.
Okay. So
Because I wanted to give information that we've ascertained instead of us just asking it generally.
yeah, I mean, it could figure it out because it's just
He's bringing up Harry C. He's bringing up
math.
bringing up Mr. HC.
Yep. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so if somebody wants to know, actually, why don't we, because you want to mention the timeline, why don't we address the 931 BC, because that pretty much that date links us. That date was arrived at starting with Adam, and that links us to. So let me just show something here.
I think I understand what you're doing. You're
Yeah, we could basically show.
you're working it backwards and seeing if Grok.
Yeah. So Mr. Camping went from Adam all the way to Solomon's death on the timeline.
Mhm.
And this is all self-contained within the Bible. Self-contained in the Bible. Right? And he went this direction from Adam to Solomon's death, right?
Right.
Now, there was no backtracking or anything like that, just directly
You're just
from this
giving two
patriarch.
dates start to finish, right?
Right, and what that led to is the date of 931 BC, right?
Mhm.
Now, what we should ask is, how did secularists arrive at the date of 931 BC outside the Bible? So this is the anchor point, the Assyrian list. So the archaeologists discovered a complete list of Assyrian officials, one for each year, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Eponym canon covers several centuries, and crucially, it records a solar eclipse in the year of, and this is their year. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Bersagil, which astronomers can precisely date to June 15th of 763 BC. So that single fixed point lets historians convert all relative Assyrian years and absolute BC dates, a rare gift in ancient chronology, which is interesting there. So once Assyrian years are secularly dated, historians line up the kings mentioned in both sources. So Ahab of Israel fought at the Battle of Kokar in 853 BC, recorded in the Assyrian annals of Shalmaneser.
Shalmaneser.
Shalmaneser, yeah. Jehu, Ahab's successor 2 dynasties later, is depicted paying tribute to Shalmaneser III on the black obelisk. So we can go into that, but I want to show how they got to 931. I did read about this, and they basically, from this date of 763 BC, there was an eclipse, and scientists knew that eclipse had to be. Well, let me just.
So they're following eclipses to help guide them in terms of
right
celestial time path
events. Yeah, they have a few different dates. You have like Ahab's reign, right? Because he reigned during the time of when this Assyrian king, he was fighting against Ahab.
Fun fact, April 14th into the 15th is going to be a lunar eclipse of 2033. And it's called a tetrad. It's called a tetrad eclipse, where there'll be 4 eclipses in 2033, April 15.
All right. So, okay.
Did you say work back Solomon to Adam or work back Solomon to the Exodus?
No, so what they do based off this date is they can work backwards to Solomon. But they basically input it into the Bible. So one moment. Let me pull this up. So we can go to that year 853 BC.
And just for my understanding, what are we doing?
So basically, we're basically showing this like how they discovered the date of 931 BC.
Okay.
So so I didn't put this section here. So the secularists, right? They worked backwards from Solomon's death, right? And they arrived at 931 BC. Working backwards, right? And so, in other words, you have this anchor date of 931 BC, which fits with the Bible, right? So let's just first show how they got to the same exact date of 931 BC. So they didn't start from Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're using historical combination of lunar phases.
Right. It's a few things. So first, they have the fixed anchor date of 763 BC. And this gives a solid absolute dating chain for the Assyrian kings. So you have biblical, it syncs with the Bible, right? This one is at 853. So we can see Ahab was reigning in 853 according to the Bible, right here. He actually dies, right? 853 was the last year of his reign, King Ahab, and there's a battle, right? Remember how he dies?
And how are they recording these things? Are they using the Bible for their working backwards?
No, so they're using Assyrian records and then tying it in with the Bible, right? To see if it matches up.
Gotcha.
Right. And then they have 841 BC for the black obelisk shows a depiction of Jehu, right? Jehu was a king in the Bible. And so with this information, they basically can kind of backtrack it.
Gotcha.
Right. You have Jehu, and if we can confirm that right here.
So God in his mercy is allowing these archaeologists and historians to find these clues.
Yeah, and Mr. Campion had lined this all up based off the Bible. So we got to the date of 841 BC by carefully lining all of this up, when these kings reigned. So you can backtrack from 841, and from there you get to 814, right? Which was it's actually down this way. They have it at the end of his rule. He actually ended his rule in 813. But basically they did that. They used like a battle that occurred, I think, in 925 BC. And so they were able to backtrack. I'm not super prepared on this, but I had an article I had saved about this. So I don't want to get too much into it. But basically, they did arrive from secular sources at this exact date of 931 BC.
Wow.
And so basically, that confirms that everything on this timeline, Mr. Camping's timeline, must have been correct. Because the only way to get to 931 BC is to start from Adam. There was no other way we could have arrived at this date. Like, there wasn't a verse that tells us, from Christ going backwards to Solomon, it was this many years, right? If they had a verse like that, maybe. But the fact that you can start from Adam and get to this exact date shows that that our timeline is in sync with history, basically.
Yeah, and as far as Solomon to Moses, does the secularist have
No. So what they do is, I think what Christians do, because secularists don't recognize the Exodus. So what Christians do is they take the secular date of 931 and or 930. Some of them say 930. I don't think they understand the whole accession versus non-accession. And they backtrack 480 years, because remember, 480 years, the Bible lets us know in 2 Kings, that's when Solomon laid the temple foundation. Actually, they do it from 967, his fourth year. So if they know, so in other words, they just did this. They went on the timeline. I mean, they took the secular date of 931 BC. Let's go up here. Right? So they have this secular date right here. And then what they do is they backtrack to Solomon's fourth year. So that gives them the date of 967 BC. And then from there, they can take 967 and go back in time another 480 years, and that's when the Exodus is. So they can get the date of the Exodus, right? But the problem is, it doesn't. Their timeline has issues, because then they're saying Abraham was born in 19.
Are we talking Usher?
This would be people who try to.
So they're using the Bible reference of 480 years.
Yeah, they'll start with 931. They'll get to 967. So they're starting 931 comes from secular history. So then, using the Bible, they backtrack it. They get to 967. They get to 1447. They actually have it at 1446. I'm not sure what the 1 year discrepancy is. But the problem is that's where their timeline stops, because it doesn't fit everything else. Like, they have Abraham. What year does Abraham? No, what year is Abraham born? And Usher's timeline.
See, they already know that you're a campingite.
Yep. See, so what he does is he assumes immediate father-son relationships.
That's right. It's just helpful. And Carl, thank you very much. I'm sure a lot of folks that might feel a bit out of sorts a bit, because you and I, we might be very comfortable putting in these queries. But this is just another proof of utilizing all these data centers. I see someone put AWS, but these data centers, they're calculating and they're storing lots of specific detail. So if you're not comfortable with the timeline, you can say, keep in mind Harold Camping's timeline. Then you can start asking it questions. And then when you have the opportunity with like-minded friends, you can kind of double up and get those questions, firmed up. So, could it be that we would use some of this AI? I really look forward to presenting some information next week, albeit, scientific, but, the world is withholding lots of information. And I think these AIs and data centers will be referencing Harold Camping. Why? Because maybe we're starting to do it. They're recording all this stuff that we're talking about. At some point, God is he's going to expand this. So could it be that we will all be, comfortable, comforted, and ready to give an answer? All right. I think that's it for today. Let me just check the list of things that I wanted to share. We did the search. Okay. Friends all over the world. I saw that there are some folks in Indonesia with the prison ministry. I don't know if there's folks from Indonesia watching, or in Africa and all over the world. May God bless you. We did hear also that in China, there's a lot of crackdown on people with churches. And I think it's a wonderful thing, because it's allowing folks to disband, but they might be hungry for the scriptures, having had mercy and all those within, the time frame before the door was shut. Maybe God may have saved them. So now we have programs like Radio Taiwan. Does that still work, Carl? Radio Taiwan?
That's right. Yeah, that's still live.
You
That's
still have
being
Radio Taiwan?
broadcasted
Yeah.
every
And we
day,
also
Monday
have
to Friday.
e-Bible Fellowship. You said the e-Bible Fellowship page in Mandarin has been updated a bit?
Yeah, the Chinese page is being updated frequently.
Hmm.
The YouTube channel. Yep.
Right. And please, folks, you don't know what may come of your efforts. Don't think it's too small. That's where God operates to ensure, that he gets all the glory. Someone might be passing out tracts and, their bag's empty, and, maybe this is the first time you're tracting, your bag is full, and you're thinking, well, I'm not good as the other person. You give that one tract, just one tract to somebody, say, wow. And then they post it or they take it to the news. It's really a waste or shame to think that your efforts would be too small. That's exactly where God operates, lest man boast or lest they kiss their own hand and say that they've done it. God, he works in small numbers, and here we are. How many folks here? Just a small group of people. We give God the glory for that. This is exactly, where God wants us to be in a ministry such as this. And rest assured, God willing, in a few years, there's going to be a lot of fanfare, more than likely. And, could it be that we'll enjoy this moment of of peaceful waters, so to speak, that we can get ready and prepare and get the infrastructure and understand the timeline of history. What if people ask you questions and they say, you've been passing all this information and you don't understand? So it's good for you to just brush up on the timeline. And this is a program where we can do it. So feel free to raise your hand and ask questions about the timeline that, Carl has, so carefully worked on, and others, that Brian and Chris, who feel more comfortable with these. This is a great program that we can, try to answer these questions, because, I have no common sense. So I can ask questions in a very based way because I don't know sometimes anything. So does anyone have anything they'd like to share before we?
I did have one more thing to mention. So there are a few events on how they were able to track Solomon's death. But one of them was actually a historical battle that took place called the Shishak's invasion. This was a pharaoh. Huh? Shishak's, yeah. Shishak's invasion that happened between 945 and 924. And this was during Rehoboam's 5th year, and it ties in with the Bible.
Okay.
And so they're able to basically, by back calculating, Rehoboam's 5th year would have been 925 BC. So his accession, Solomon's death, equals 930 BC. So that's how they came up with 930.
Gotcha.
And so they, even here it mentioned 931.
Right.
When you account for co-regencies. So basically this historical battle that took place allowed them to come up with that date. So this was one of the ways. The other one was the Queen of Sheba is mentioned visiting Solomon.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Bible is referenced as a historical text. That's
yeah, they have this around 986 to 967. So they are also able to. So they had like a few pieces of historical evidence to try to get that date of 931.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Great. Well, folks, what a privilege and a pleasure it is to be with you all. This effectively concludes our program, Enduring to the End. Could it be that the Lord would keep us as we have opportunities to share the wonderful information that we have? Oh, I see Bud of Hope has her hand raised. Yes, Miss Louisa, go ahead.
Hi, Gary.
Hi.
Okay, I just wanted to share, about this track sharing bank challenge. Bank challenge.
Bag or back?
Bank.
Bank. Oh, when you go to the bank.
Yes. Now, when I get in the bank and do my transaction, I usually give the tracks to the the staff, and people at the desk, workers at the desk. And then when I come out at the lobby, there are people waiting to be served or maybe waiting for a ride. But it was recently, like a week ago, I was sharing this with e-Bible friend, Doreen, my close friend, and she said, "Did you take a picture?" I said, I was debating, then I decided, well, that's okay. But I was thinking the Lord sees anyway, that's most important. But it was at the lobby, and I gave out tracts for people sitting down there, and they could be reading something. And most of the people, of course, they are looking into their phone. So there was a girl who was going out of the door, and she's African American. I like to, point out the color of the person, because there's contrast. But so I gave her a track, and then she left. So I thought, okay, she went home maybe. And then 2 or 3 minutes later, there was another girl that was coming down the steps, and she's like maybe a Latina or a white girl. And I also gave her a track. And then when I went out, I saw the two of them on the sidewalk, and they were, one of them, the first girl, was taking picture of the track, and she was holding the "Why is the world so divided" track high above her and tried to take the picture. And I said to them, "Oh, I didn't know the two of you were together," and they said, "Yeah, we were together." And the other girl, second girl, is like quiet, and this other girl was, we talked to each other, and I just, say something to her, some to just to share some knowledge, and they were standing there for the longest time. But I decided to go to the car, and then when I got in my car, I said I should have taken a picture, and then I said,
That's
well, but
okay.
yeah. So anyway, so that's my
Your
bank.
depiction is very, very detailed.
So that was my bank. That was my bank challenge. Now,
That's a great story. That's a
yeah,
great.
no, no. Responding to comments, I saw a Spanish thread. Oh, by the way,
I'm sorry, Miss Louise. We only have 30 seconds. You think you can wrap this into 30 seconds?
Oh, wow. Okay. There
I
was
don't want to give you a timer because
a Spanish lady, okay, commented to, on that post saying that, and she listed the things, and she said, like God is angry, okay, and she showed the weather,
yes.
weather and so
And how
on,
did it?
fire and all that,
Yeah.
all the disasters. So I texted in Spanish and like got her to go to perseverando
Oh,
hasta
great.
el fin. Yeah.
Excellent. And you have some Spanish, Miss Louisa.
Spanish what?
You
Track?
speak a little Spanish?
I tried,
Oh,
you know?
great.
Yeah. And but I think it was Vincent that said something about some of our friends are on thread. So so
But
I,
we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for
okay. To be
guiding to
continued.
that. Yeah, may the Lord bless you,
Okay.
Miss Louisa.
Thank you.
And Sir Will, I'm not sure if you're available. Could you close us in prayer if you're available?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the Lord's Day and for the ministry. I pray you'll bless all aspects of what we're all doing to share this message and the Q&A each day to help others increase in the knowledge of God. And thanks for all the efforts and all you will do with the ministry between now and 2033 to get the message to those you want to get it to and to let the world know that it is under judgment. And thank you that we can be a part of that. And we just praise and glorify you and the fires in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thanks, Will. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this this humble program. We are unprofitable servants, and what a privilege it is to be with you all this Lord's Day. May God richly bless you until we meet again. Bye-bye.